Hello, ladies and gentlemen. So today let's talk about a few things they do not tell you when you come to Sweden. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, stick around to the end of this video to find out how you can go to prison in Sweden for 2 years if you don't pay attention. This is something they don't tell you and you still can go to prison. So stick around to the end of this video to find out what that is. So I'm out for a nice nighttime walk and doesn't my house look nice, cozy and beautiful in the Swedish winter with some Christmas decoration. Yes, I am making this as a backup vlog, so this might be published at a weird time because you see the Christmas decoration but it's not Christmas. It's just a backup vlog, so you guys have something to watch on a day where I don't have the time to make an actual vlog. So let's get into it. Things they do not tell you before you come to Sweden. The first one is leeches. Yes, there are leeches in Sweden. Those little black bloodsuckers. Yeah, they live in the Swedish rivers and lakes. Now, to be honest, they are rare, but they do exist. I have seen them twice. One, when I was out in a lake swimming, I saw one swimming past me. It was just with his slithery, black, ugly body just swimming around, and I got out of the water because I didn't want it to get attached to me and start sucking my blood. Second time I saw one, it was sadly attached to me. It was attached on my foot, and leeches are known for attaching themselves really well. Like you could pull and pull as much as you wanted, but it wasn't letting go. Luckily, we had some alcohol wipes with us, and we just laid one alcohol wipe on top of it. And the alcohol the leech didn't like that. It died because of the alcohol absorbing it through its skin, and it let go. So that worked. But yeah, I have no knowledge about if they spread diseases or not, but it's good to be aware of them. And so if you ever go swimming in Swedish lakes, which you should not be afraid of to do because it's amazing swimming in Swedish lakes during the summer, you might get a leech. There's a possibility of that. So before that happens, you might want to Google and see how you can get rid of them. All right, on to the next one. So, Swedish healthcare. Swedish people love to brag about it because it's basically free. You don't have to pay a lot, and I have bragged about it too. Healthcare here is amazing. But for some reason, they don't see your teeth as part of healthcare. The dentist is not included in the great healthcare you get in Sweden. It's so weird. Going to the dentist here is pretty expensive. So some people opt out of going to dentists and just live with bad teeth. Luckily, I have great teeth and I want to keep it that way. So I brush every day, as you should too, because if you don't brush and you come to live in Sweden, you might have a really expensive bill. Going to any other doctor, physician or anything else, the hospital is super cheap. But the dentist is not included. You have to pay for all the dentist costs yourself. Now, this next one, they don't tell you about Sweden, but it also affects people coming to Sweden on just a holiday. This isn't important just for when you're living here, it also affects you when you're traveling to Sweden. Sweden is doing their utmost best to get rid of cash money. Yeah, it's not an official thing that they're trying to get rid of it, but cash money is quite rare in Sweden. Most people use their phones or their cards to pay, and even on markets nowadays, you pay with your phone. there is an app that is called Swish, and if you buy something on a market or even in stores, or nowadays you can even buy vehicles through Swish. Let's say you need to pay me some money and you need to pay me 200 crowns. I then give you my phone number. You put in my phone number in the Swish app. The Swish app then tells you whose name is attached to the phone number. It's a good way to make sure that you're paying the correct person and not typed the phone number wrong. So you type in my phone number, you see my name pop up. We confirm that that's correct. Then you add the amount we agreed, 200 crowns, and then you click send. Then you click your password and it's done. It's really easy. It takes less than a minute, and that is the way most Swedish transactions nowadays take place. This is for the most informal transactions. Most shops and stores obviously still do cash money, but less and less so. Most stores are also integrating into the Swish system. It's so pretty walking at night at the snow. It is amazing. Look at it. Okay, so the next thing. Taxes. Taxes in Sweden. Swedish people love to complain about how expensive taxes are here in Sweden. They love to complain about it. Now, coming from Holland, I was too young in Holland to pay taxes, but if I listen to my parents, apparently taxes in Sweden are pretty good compared to Holland. We don't pay a lot of taxes here in Sweden, so it's quite fun to be coming from the Netherlands and then hearing Swedish people complain about taxes, because it's not that bad here. I heard the following only from one American source, but there was one American that moved to Sweden, and they said that the Swedish people pay around the same amount of taxes as Americans do. Now, the difference is that Swedish people get a lot more back from their taxes than Americans do. We get free healthcare here in Sweden. I can't name all examples because I'm walking in the forest and I can't Google it right now. But according to this American person, the Swedish tax rates and American tax rates are about the same, but in Sweden you get a lot more back from your government than you do in America. And like I said, Dutch taxes are higher than Swedish. But still, Swedish people love complaining about them. Alright, the next thing, as I'm walking through really deep snow. The next thing, if you come to Sweden, you will notice there is a lot of second-hand stores. Yeah, they love their second-hand stores here in Sweden. They call it the Loppis. That's one version of it, which is basically just a private person or a small store where people can come with their old stuff and they will accept your old stuff and you can buy other people's old stuff. Maybe a little bit like a thrift store, but usually a Loppis won't buy your old stuff like a thrift store would. Now, other versions of it are, for example, Erikshjälpen. Erikshjälpen is a big franchise in Sweden. It's basically a gigantic Loppis franchise, second-hand store franchise, where you can donate your second-hand things, all your old stuff. You can give it to the store, and then they will sell it, and that money goes to charity. Erikshjälpen is not made for profit. It's all to help poor people around the world. And so yeah, that's a pretty good secondhand store. Old stuff gets donated, and all the profits from selling it goes to donating to charity. So secondhand stores are a big thing in Sweden. You'll see them everywhere. I've never seen so many secondhand stores as I have in Sweden. And whenever you're walking through the forest like this, you can see over here there is a lot of animal tracks, but here's some big animal tracks. And guess what that is? This is most definitely a moose. Yeah, that's a big moose that's walking around here, and he went somewhere in there. Luckily, you can see about on the tracks that it has snowed since he passed by, so he's not close to us right now though. Alright, let's keep going and talk about the next thing they don't tell you in Sweden. Okay, the next one is allemansrätt, the right to roam freely. That's a law here in Sweden. You are allowed to go in forests everywhere you'd like. There is no limit. It isn't like some other places like America, for instance, where there are trespassing laws. You are allowed to go wherever you want, freely roam in forests. And that is pretty well known. Most people know about this. So if you like to tent somewhere or park your RV somewhere, you can do that without any problems. What I don't tell you about it is that there are restrictions to it. Yeah, so you have the right to roam freely, but of course not everywhere. Gardens of people's houses are off limit. So if a place looks like a garden, it's off limits. Property owners are allowed to set up fences and private property signs. So even if it's a forest and not a garden, if the owner has taken the effort to put around private property signs, you're not allowed to go in. So the freedom to roam only exists if the property owners don't restrict you. Other things that also come into play with the freedom to roam is, of course, leave no trace principles. You don't leave garbage around, or you can still get fines. And that is also a big deal. Now, the next thing plays into both, and that is fires. Of course, you are not allowed to make fires everywhere you want, even with the freedom to roam. You make fires in fireplaces, or you make it in such a way that you can clean it up and make it look like there was never a fire there. Now, you also have to take in mind that fires are restricted in certain periods of time. You have to Google and figure out if there is a fire ban. During the winter, like this, there is most likely not a fire ban. But this summer, previous of this recording, there was definitely fire bans. People weren't allowed to make fires because it was way too dry. And that rolls us into the next part of what they don't tell you when you come to Sweden. You can go to prison for 2 years for making a fire during a fire ban. Yes. If you think you can come to Sweden and just go camping and you make a fire and the police find you, you go to prison because you forgot to look up the fire bans. Yeah, that can happen. Ignorance is not a reason for keeping you out of prison for 2 years. Every year there is always tourists that make a fire during a fire ban. I've never seen any of them get arrested, but when I do see it, I want to warn them because, you know, it's like being a tourist somewhere else yourself. When I have gone to France or somewhere else and have been camping, sometimes you want to make fire and you just spontaneously make a fire. You buy some sausages at the local grocery store and then imagine sitting around your fire, eating your sausages, roasting some marshmallows, having a good old time, and bam, you're in prison. That would not be a great vacation. So keep that in mind. Okay, so I'm walking back home now. And those were all the things I had for the list of things they don't tell you when you come to Sweden. No matter if you live here or if you go on vacation, these things usually, you know, play a big role in the Swedish society and are actually good things to know right as you come to Sweden. So thank you all for watching. I would love if you all subscribed. You would maybe see more of these kinds of videos, and leave a like on the video to let YouTube know that this is a video that people like and spread the message around. Alright, see you all later. Goodbye.
Thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next vlog, and don't forget to subscribe.
So don't miss a video, subscribe now, and I'll see you in the next episode.